My name is Harold Mcgee. I write books mostly about the science of cooking, although I've also written about the science of aromas and smells. And here's what's in my basket. So I'd never seen this spoon before I wandered around Bernal Cutlery one weekend and immediately bought several for friends and family. And I use it all the time for ginger, for garlic, for turmeric, anytime that I need to grate something, not huge quantities, but you know, a good solid spoonful. It's just a fantastic tool. This is my book on food and cooking, which is now in its 40-something printing. I love to see it in the company of such amazing books that are being published currently, first printings. And I always like to pick up a copy when I see it on the shelf to encourage the store to keep it in stock and to give it away to friends. I'm always excited to find a shop that carries vintage fish. That's something that I was clued into, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago. I'd never heard of it before. It sounded kind of crazy, but in fact, people will collect tins of sardine and mackerel and other fish, but sardine mostly, and they'll keep the tins in their wine cellars for decades and take them out and sample them and enjoy them, savor the qualities that they develop over time. So I found a couple here, vintage 2021 and 2023, and they're going into my cellar. And then I also found by the same company in Brittany the liver of cod liver au naturel, and it's something I have never tasted before. Cod liver, of course, has a reputation, so I'm looking forward to trying this just to expand my experience. So I write books, and that means that I read a lot of books and love, not a lot, but many books. And one of my favorites is Rachel Laudan's Cuisine and Empire, which is a book of the kind of the world history of cooking, but not neglecting the effects of trade and politics and empire on the way people have cooked for centuries and centuries. At least around my house, we can never have enough kitchen towels. They get singed, they get stained, they get tossed in a corner and forgotten, and we go through them more often than we actually do the laundry. And this is a really beautiful one. Irregular pattern. It's not just one stitch. It's lots and lots of different things somehow blending together. So beautiful. I just love the smell of wood. I wrote a whole book about smells, and one of my favorite smells in the world is cedar, and this hinoki cutting board is just so aromatic. I actually feel reluctant often to cut anything on it, but I love to serve things on it and know that it's there for a sniff. Back in the 90s, I lived in France for a year, which was a wonderful, amazing experience. And I got to know some French things that I wouldn't have known about otherwise. One of them was cassoulet, and the particular requirements for a true cassoulet, at least in the southwest of France. And one of the requirements is a particular bean, the Tarbes bean, grown near the city of Tarbes. They're white beans. There's really nothing like them. They really are distinctive, and so whenever I can find them, which is not often, I'll pick them up. From that same sojourn in France, I got to know the knives of Layol. Again, that's something that you didn't see much in the States back then. Now they're a little bit more common, and of course in a place like Bernal Cutlery, they're just choices galore, and I couldn't resist getting a couple of knives to replace a couple of mine that have somehow walked away. A book that I haven't seen yet and I'm looking forward to diving into is Ken Albala's Opulent Nosh, and then the subtitle, A Cookbook for Audacious Appetites. It's from 2024. I've known Ken for decades now. He is a scholar, historian of food, very serious scholar, but also a very fun-loving cook. And this is a book that he's been putting together for the last couple of years, and the title kind of says it all. I can't wait to try what's in there. So I've been a longtime fan of the rice from Coda Farms in the Central Valley. They unfortunately have passed the business along and are not selling their own rice anymore, but this wonderful alternative has developed. Luna Koshihikari rice is now available, and it's organic. It's grown by people with, recognizable presence in the world. It's not a faceless company, and it's just wonderful to have something to take the place of Coda. So a few years ago, I published a book about smell, about aromas, not just of food and drink, but about everything in the world I could find information about. And one of the most interesting materials was Palo Santo, which is a New World wood. And in the New World, it's been used to make cups for mate tea. And the thing about Palo Santo is that it has in it the same molecules that give mint its particular aroma. And so I saw these mate cups, and I thought I really wanted to have one of them, not only to enjoy as a cup, but to enjoy that aroma, the combination of wood and then a sort of coolness that you feel when you sniff, when you breathe it in. That's the mint. Well, this has been a lot of fun. This is Harold Mcgee. These are the things that have been in my basket, and I can't wait for the opportunity to come back and fill it up again.